Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Casting the Spotlight episode number 183. We are fresh off our 6-year anniversary now. So it was a great time having Justin back.
It was.
Did you see that? The rise of Fry Walker? That was his idea. That was his idea. I was suggesting, I was going to say pretty fly for a fry guy, or you could say pretty fry for a white guy. Or I said, there was a few other things that I was throwing in there, but that was ultimately his call, and I was like, that was a good time, though. We went another 3 hours for his third appearance, so hope everybody enjoyed the anniversary episode. This is kind of like another kickstart to another part of our year, the same way, whenever the year begins, it's obviously the slate's clean, but WrestleMania, it's all right, well, we hit the anniversary episode.
Feels like, with the podcast changing over too, and its anniversary, but a lot of stuff just is changing in general.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're about to be in summer finally too, so officially, it's kind of felt like it, but we got.
It's really gonna feel like it here soon, though. Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah, we've already got some days. We've gotten some beautiful days, though. Mm-hmm. When it's not fucking raining,
March and April were brutal with that. Even a lot of May.
Yeah.
April.
This year.
April, it rained 20 of the 30 days here. Was it 31 in April? Or was it 30?
30.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This year,
20 or 30.
This year, it seemed worse than in the past. 2019 was a really bad year for flooding and just so much rain, and this is the worst year since then for it. I feel like it was fucking horrible. You couldn't get anywhere. This shit was. People would drive like shit.
It's horrible.
Make us mad.
The rain's if I'm chill with the rain if I'm inside taking a nap, watching TV, reading a book, any of that. But with my job, working outside, I would take almost any weather over the rain. Yeah. It's definitely the most brutal condition to have to spend a consistent amount of time in.
Yeah, a whole shift, obviously.
Yeah.
A whole route. Well, if you've been listening to our solo episodes lately, you're familiar with the new segment.
Yeah.
This or that.
It's a good one. It's a fun one.
We both always pick a measuring stick to compare to all the other things in its own category. A gauntlet style. So tonight we drew the category of comedy movies. And I think I'm up first, right? To give you a list.
Yep. It's
kind of really you're up first, but I'm up first to read.
I'm up first to judge.
Yeah. So we got the comedy movies, the sequel, the first time since our very first edition of the segment. We got your main one. I don't know how long it's been since you've seen any of the Kevin Smith universe films.
I mean, it's been probably a minute. Not too.
Do you feel well enough?
Long, but I know basically all of them enough to where I would feel confident
to judge them. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I picked for you?
Yeah.
Your measuring stick tonight is going to be Dogma.
It's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Probably of his.
But I didn't know when the last time you may have listened to it or watched it was. But I knew you really liked it whenever you saw it. And
isn't he doing a re-release?
Yeah, right now, I think.
Yeah.
So yours is going to be Kevin Smith's, I guess, fourth movie, Dogma. And his opponent up first, Dogma's opponent is going to be 21 Jump Street.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
That was kind of a good era for us, too. Mm-hmm. That it came out in. So it hit because it was our generation,
Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Johnny, who was in the originals, popped up, made an appearance in it.
Yeah.
I liked 21 Jump Street, but I feel like Dogma has more of an imprint on me. So probably Dogma.
Yeah. Yeah, Dogma was sick.
Yeah. Dogma 2 just feels like it has its religious, it pokes fun at Catholicism almost, and specifically, but just religion in general. But I don't necessarily think it's a sacrilegious film. It still feels like it has a decent bit of faith to it. There's still angels, there's still the morality of good and bad, there's still the evil of demons, that. There's still those things that exist within it. It's just poking fun really at religion more than overall faith.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a lot of people know it's a great movie, but I feel like it's kind of been, even to this day, swept under the rug in ways. But I'm it's not in a disrespect, because most people that have seen it really do like it and enjoy it, but I just don't know how big that audience is, or if some people remember it, or if it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Kevin Smith didn't have the rights to it until recently.
I feel the people that
because it was
remember it though.
It was definitely, most people say it was one of the best movies of 1999 when it came out. It was on a lot of lists. I mean, it was it was before some of these guys really went off big time, but it had Affleck in it, Damon in it. Obviously Jason Lee was the angel, or the demon, rather, not the angel.
Yeah, Affleck and Damon were the angels.
And Alan Rickman was in it.
Yeah.
And, I mean...
Or the fallen angels, rather.
Yeah. Chris Rock. It was pretty star-packed, even if that was before some of their...
Yeah, Chris Rock
time.
was hilarious.
Yeah.
In it too.
Those people were all, kind of becoming known, but they weren't, mega stars yet, but, it was still pretty...
was in it?
Yeah, George Carlin was in it. Salma Hayek was in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty, it had some great names in it.
Yeah, it was honestly,
And Damon and Affleck were, kind of the pro-antagonists, really, because they're the angels trying to come through the archway and be cleansed of all their sins, and then they'd be able to get to heaven, and doing that would unmake God, because it would disprove, it would go against what he ordered, they're going to spend the rest of eternity on earth,
Mm-hmm.
And so it would go against that because of the Catholic religion, and that was one of the whole things. That was what it was built on. Obviously, the great however many times Jane Silent Bob said it, grandniece of Jesus Christ. She was the last, I forget what the term was, but she was kind of the last one, the last one, because she was unable to give birth. So it was all right, well, the last Zion, maybe that's what it was. But she was it kind of ended with her if she couldn't get pregnant. And then all that got dropped on her, and then of course Jay and Silent Bob were her. See, that's whatever, they can be lead characters, but they are also highly enjoyable as the two characters along for the journey too.
They just you drop in halfway
through
it.
It's
oh, here they are.
Because then their parts are so they're so fucking great.
It ties it to the rest of the universe, though, when they show up,
And it was cool because they were a part of a lot of the journey in Dogma too.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because Dogma was presented as so serious, yet they were there through so much of the shit.
It was serious, but it was also not.
It was Dogma. Even those first 6 or the reboot Clerks 3. Dogma has a different feel to it in a way, though. It feels like a film. You know what I mean? It feels... Those are all films. I'm not trying to disrespect them either. But, it feels like it could stand on its own and be entertaining outside of the Kevin Smith universe. You know what I mean? People that just stumble upon it and they're like, oh, what's this? That would be good for them. Some of these other ones, Mallrats,
sit with them as
or
well,
James Bob Strike Back, and you're like, what the fuck?
I feel that one could be if you're entertained by just goofy comedy, though.
Oh, James Bob Strike Back's great.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. But anyway, so what'd you say? Dogma. Okay. Well, do you want to know what you got next?
Yeah.
Well, you have got Dogma or the 40-Year-Old Virgin. That
is a good one.
That's a really good.
It's a funny movie. It's also like
I watched that
for
one
being
late.
as raunchy and like kind of like the way it is. That movie's got a lot of heart too.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like just when it came out, like with its name and with its subject matter, it got like that kind of a. It was obviously a very successful movie, but it got that kind of like thing with it, like, oh, it's it's this sex comedy, which it kind of was in a way, but it was like I can't get sex comedy really.
Yeah.
But like.
It was actually
It was
rated
pretty
really well.
heartfelt too.
It was. It was actually, it got good ratings. Like, that was one of, other than like Superbad and like the era right before that bridged the gap between like those frat pack guys and like Seth and all his boys. It felt like the 40-Year-Old Virgin bridged that gap in a lot of ways, and kind of like, you know, that's the following years were like Superbad and everything would start coming out, you know, with like a different group of them. But like Seth was in that, and like was Jonan. He was in that for a second. He had like a cameo in the 40-Year-Old Virgin. But that was a great. I feel like that was a great original comedy. Like, it really was. And it's built on a premise.
Had a lot of those.
It was built
Just
on a premise that
comedies.
you could understand, and you're like, oh damn.
Yeah.
You know, not from, but just like sympathizing with, you know, or just being like, oh, what the fuck's this guy doing? You know.
Yeah.
But I watched the 40-Year-Old Virgin like late. Like, I didn't watch it for, you know, whenever I saw a lot of those original movies.
For a while. I feel like, I don't know.
People always talk about it.
It was sometime in high school, probably.
Yeah. Or at least people like the reference. Oh, you're going to be the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, it's like even if they don't know the movie, that became a tagline. It was a good one, though.
It was.
I'm still probably going to lean Dogma a little bit, though.
Okay.
I gave it its props.
You're like, all right, next up we've got Dogma or Big Daddy.
Again, man, dude, that one is an underrated Adam Sandler movie, I feel like. A lot of people don't like talk about Big Daddy anymore. It was early Dylan and Cole, too.
It was. Really early.
Yeah.
You wipe your own ass?
That was another one that like had a lot of heart to it, but was very just Adam Sandler comedy too. That all his movies were kind of like that.
It was always like a fairly simple but like entertaining, like romantic storyline with all of his comedic elements to it. You know what I mean? But he always knew the sweet spot of like where to kind of connect the two and make it like a thing. You know, it always made sense. They were always genuinely like entertaining. You know, like I said, I mean, I grew up on all those, and a lot of other stuff, obviously. But
yeah, I mean, Big Daddy's one that I feel like I watched a decent bit more than some of his other movies, actually, because I used to go to my mom's work. Like, there was a couple summers where I'd go to her work like a few times a week when there wouldn't be anybody home, and it was like I was a little too young to where they wouldn't trust me alone at the house, so I would have to just like hang out in the basement at her job. But like, it wasn't bad because a doctor that used to own the place like used to live down there, so there was like a kitchen down there and like an office and a TV and a table. So it was like I would just pull out a chair and they had a VHS player and then like some tapes, and Big Daddy was one of them.
Really? They still had tapes?
So I ended up like watching Big Daddy quite a bit on VHS as like, I don't even know. It's probably the era of like 8 to like 10.
Oh, yeah. VHSs, man.
Yeah, it was like, I'm trying to even think of some of the other movies that were there. There was like, I think maybe Scooby-Doo was probably one of them. Dude, I'm trying to think of the name of this one movie. Captain Ron? Is that the name of it? Have you ever heard of that?
Ron?
Captain Ron, maybe? Yeah, that's definitely it. That was probably a really shitty movie. It was Kurt Russell, though. Kurt Russell and Martin Short. It's a movie.
No.
It got a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. And
Kurt Russell's one of those guys that is a big star, was obviously a major star. But you know he's just got some stinkers, too.
Yeah. But The Mask, I think that was another one.
Did you ever say on that one? So you got a childhood connection with Big Daddy? I mean, I do.
But so yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna lean Big Daddy a little bit. I think I'm gonna pick Big Daddy.
Okay.
Surprisingly, that's one that I'm like, I could go really either way.
Yeah.
But
all right, next up we've got Dogma or The Sitter.
Dude, that's a fun movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, that's one that I feel like you can, it's like a easy enough, just like laid back kind of comedy that you can just like throw it on whenever with anyone, and it's like pretty agreeable.
Like you're just chilling and like it's just, you know.
Yeah, that's like
teenage kind
that's
of
one
shit.
of like Jonah Hill's more like subdued roles in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to comedy, because he's usually like outlandish kind of motherfucker.
Well, and he was like the leading man in that one.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was a little bit different too.
He did good though.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I thought it was
I really enjoyed that one. Probably gonna go Dogma though.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dogma doing fairly well here. Dogma or Talladega Nights.
One of your faves.
I still don't think I've ever seen it.
Are you kidding me? You've never actually seen it when you talked all this shit.
No. I've seen Step Brothers like 4 times, but I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Talladega Nights.
You gotta watch
I've seen so many, like, because people have had it on. I've seen so many parts of it.
Dude, it's worth it.
But I've never, ever sat down, almost 20 years in.
That's unbelievable.
And watched it.
I own it. I'll lend it to you at this rate.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's one of Will Ferrell's funniest, probably, in a lot of ways. I'm trying to, like, think of some of his best. I mean, Elf, honestly, is hilarious.
Yeah.
I know it's a holiday movie, but it holds up.
I've come around to, like, I'd probably watch it, you know, like Talladega Nights.
Yeah, you need to.
You know, it'll be a matter of if I have a, make a point to go watch it or whatever. Like maybe like this weekend where I'm off, maybe I'll have a moment. Maybe I'm sitting here, you know.
And then you'll be like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, well that's the thing, you know. Whenever you're binging and I'm binging Friends again, and like I'm watching other shit, I'm like,
I get that though.
But yeah. We might have to watch it together for me to watch it. I mean, like, I would maybe watch it. Like, if I was, like, one night, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna.
It's another one of those, like, 2000s comedies that just, like, it was a one-off. Like, dude, the 2000s are just stacked. Into
the mid-2015s. Or 2015s. 2010s.
Yeah.
It was, like, fucking, there was so much good shit that came out.
Yeah.
I thought that was never going to end. I was just like, this is incredible. All these comedies came out. Like, and then the Hangover movies, all them came out. I think I put that on your list last time. That was an era, man.
It was.
And, like, Kevin Smith had his own version, like, of, you know, from the 90s and, like, 2000s, like, of different stuff he made, stuff that was personal to him.
Man, that's kind of a tough one. I feel like by a hair, I'm probably gonna say Dogma tonight.
Okay. All right, with the defeat.
Yeah,
Dogma. Oh, man,
it's running away here.
It's not bad. It's a great movie. Dogma or The Interview. I think you gave me the interview last time, but I didn't put it on my list.
Yeah, oh man, that one's hilarious too. It's crazy that almost started a war.
Yeah, it was fun to rewatch these, like at the end of last year, going into the beginning of this year when we rewatched that, and like This Is the End, and like some of the other ones. We could watch Pineapple at some point. Yeah, we would watch this all the fucking time, and like we haven't watched them in definitely a few years.
Pineapple's one of the best.
Yeah.
Pineapple and Superbad are maybe my favorites.
Yeah, me too. Like This Is the End would probably whoop a lot of ass, but I don't know if it would beat.
Great
those
too.
are the only two I don't know if it would beat, you know?
Yeah. This Is the End had just some like hilarious and like stand up to be hilarious time and time again moments, you know?
Oh yeah. That stuff just never fails. It always hits.
What was it again though?
This last one?
The interview.
Yeah, the interview. Dogma or the interview?
Your gum tasted like shit. Just a piece of gum. He throws it in his mouth.
Hey! Oh! And then he was like standing there like by the bed, like whenever Kim Jong-un came in, he's like, "Hey, nice to meet you." It's like, dude, you're 20 feet away. What are you doing?
He's like hand behind his back, like inching towards him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious too. That was a great movie. Man.
This is a whole different kind of list, but I still made it really. I feel like I still made it pretty strong.
I'm trying to think like on a what made me laugh more, and also what has like more overall rewatch value for me.
Yeah.
You know? That stuff.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen. I saw like I think Clerks 3 not too long ago. I watched. Trying to think of out of those which ones I've watched. Honestly, Dogma's due for rewatch though. I wouldn't mind watching Jay and Silent Bob again, Strike Back, or like the reboot, obviously. I haven't seen any of those, or like Mallrats. I haven't seen in a while. I don't think I've seen Clerks 1 or 2 in a while either.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I could watch. Definitely Dogma feels like it's been 3 or 4 years since I've seen it. So I'm like, maybe I should watch that.
Yeah, Dogma it's one of the best.
All right.
Tonight I'm gonna lead the interview.
All right.
Gonna give it the nod.
Well, Dogma's still not doing too bad.
No.
But next up, we've got Dogma or Nacho Libre.
Oh, damn. Nacho Libre 2 has like a lot of value with me as a kid.
I know.
You know?
You were like, dude, that one. I do think I eventually got around to seeing that whole thing. That was also on
also
TV.
as
a
a
lot.
wrestling fan,
Yeah.
like
It was also on TV a lot, like TNT or whatever was on.
Yeah, I gotta give the nod to Nacho, man.
Damn. Oh man. Oh man.
I also like I do like a lot of Jack Black
Yeah.
movies. Like he is like one of the comedy actors I really do enjoy.
Well, we're gonna carry him over into this next one.
Oh shit.
We got Dogma or Tropic Thunder.
Fuck, man.
We need to watch that at some point. We've never watched that together.
Yeah, I'm probably taking Tropic Thunder.
Oh
too.
man.
Tropic Thunder's one of those that like I like war movies
Yeah.
anyways, like World War II and Vietnam.
I watched Band of Brothers, by the way,
watched
about a week or so ago, a week or two, something like that. Yeah, I watched all of it. I watched it in the span of like probably 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it's damn good, huh?
Yeah, it was really good. It was one of the best interpretations of, like they showed so many aspects of like, just training for war and like actually in the shit and like dealing with the civilians and the towns that they go into and everything, and like it was a really like comprehensive body of work from Steven Spielberg. And,
that's
like,
what
Tom
I mean.
Hanks,
It was like, it was if Saving Private Ryan got to be a miniseries, you know?
Yeah. And it felt like really raw and like real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it was highly enjoyable. Like, enjoyable is a weird word to use, but it was just like super well made. It was like one of the best like war things on film probably that has been made. You know,
the first episode, I looked this up too, the first episode of it aired 2 days before 9/11.
I know. It was like, that series was like right within 9/11.
Yeah. And like
all that stuff happened.
10 episodes.
So that you know that people are like into that shit too.
Yeah. I told Harry, I texted him, I was like, have you watched this before? And he's like, no, I haven't, but, something I just listened to was talking about. And I was like, because he likes a lot of that military, like, war stuff, too. Yeah. And I was like, you should watch this. So he'll probably get around to watching it. He sounded like he was interested in it. But, I thought it was fantastic, like, all around. And, like, so many people that too, from things.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many people that I could have... okay, so, that guy that rolled up with the governor, with the tank... that was also a shithead in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the military kind of like crew cut / that guy. Yeah. That guy, just the asshole guy. He was in that too. He was young and he was literally in that. I'm like, he presents sort of a military kind of like way in like the stuff he's been in, like The Walking Dead, like the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes too. He was kind of like that.
Looks, yeah.
I forget the actor's name, but. That's the way his character carried himself too, like he did as that person. So I'm like, it makes sense that he was in something like that too.
The Pacific,
is
also worth watching.
I was thinking about watching.
It's really well done as well. It's like World War II, but it's the Marines and it's in Japan instead of being in Europe.
That's kind of sick.
So it's like their story. But it's all real people too, because all the guys in Band of Brothers were real dudes.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing in the Pacific. It's like all real guys.
I appreciate like how raw and real it was, and like it kept the integrity of like the truth in that series based on like it was
like their diaries, their stories.
Yeah. Well, it was showing, okay, well, we're going to war. Like, fuck those bastards. We're killing all the Nazis, all this stuff. It was like that. But then, like, it showed the aftermath and, like, everybody questioning, like, why did we even do this? Like, now he's, Hitler supposedly, killed himself or whatever, and this will happen. Everybody's
also, a lot of them got that within it.
Everybody's questioning why the fuck they were even doing this during it. It was
such a bond with one another, and they grew such a love for one another through all that. They also were like, at a certain point, they were all just like, when the fuck is this end?
David Schwimmer, Ross was in it. Like the very first episode.
Of course, he was the little bitch.
Yeah, the guy that was. I was thinking about that. I was like, wow. And then that was kind of another sign. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start Friends over after that too. That like whenever I saw him, and I had no idea he was even in that.
He always just plays a little whiny fucking.
But honestly, the episode gauge your interest. Like it got you, the training and just everything.
It was like the first episode was all like basic, pretty much.
All basic. But yeah, I liked it a lot.
Once they that second episode though, like D-Day, like jumping out of the planes and the like craziness of all that, like,
and they're like, this is the first time.
That was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Planes were getting shot down. They were like, you gotta jump now. Like, I know this isn't the spot, but fuck it. We're going down. You gotta go.
Dude, like, just whenever there's just so many bullets flying and, like, warfare, like, going on, like, how the fuck do you even... how can you even hear or see...
How do you have a battle plan? Like, they're like, oh, like, I know that you have a plan going into war. It's like, okay, here's the strategy. We're going to have your drop zone is going to be here. You know, you're going to drop this far in.
Yeah.
But it's like, there is no guarantee you're even going to get halfway that far in.
Yeah.
Before they have to drop you, you know?
That shit was crazy. the episodes they had, like, because they showed a lot of the guys, like, in, what?
Leo's swatting at a spider on the ground.
Is it huge?
It was a pretty big guy.
Really? Oh, fuck.
It was a decently sized guy.
Damn it.
Leo's going after him. I don't even know where he's at anymore. Oh, there he is. Oh, no. Don't get in my shoes, bro.
Get him!
Yeah, he was moving way too quick right at me. I ain't dealing with that.
No.
Look at that.
Fine.
Look at
We'll
that.
pick him up. We'll pick him up after that. But no, dude, yeah, that series was that was phenomenal. Like, it's rated, I mean, what do we look it up? And other than, like, Breaking Bad and some of those other things, that was, like, one of the highest rated series of all time.
Yeah.
The Band of Brothers one.
Yeah.
It was,
one of the most well-made mini-series ever.
And it was, like, accurate because it came from, like, the people and shit. And, like, you could tell because it wasn't, like, it showed, like, the harsh reality is in, like, when they go into these towns and everything. And, like, these people, like, people will be doing things that they don't want to do. Is he eating it?
He might. I don't know.
You know, they were like they you know, they had to do a bunch of stuff they didn't want to do going into these places, and you know, people just kind of
also
sometimes take advantage of the townspeople too.
The Pacific shows some of that too, like even worse because, I mean, I wouldn't say even worse because like some of the shit they endured in Band of Brothers was just absolutely awful.
Oh yeah.
And like, but also they weren't nearly as bad to the villages they went into. They were pretty civil to all those people. It was when the Germans took over. Like sometimes they would bond with these townsfolk, and then they would leave, and then that town would get destroyed. Mm-hmm. You know, and that was the heartbreaking part of kind of for Band of Brothers. But like the Pacific, like with the Japanese in World War II, and this like was just how the Japanese army was at the time. Like there was no surrender. You know? No, and that's why they were willing to sacrifice civilian lives, and that was a lot of the Marines and the people that went over to Japan that experienced that, because like Okinawa and like all these different places that they had to go through, they just put civilians in the way, and it was like that was the horrid part of it, you know. It was like they were never care. They would not certain. Yeah, everybody in that place would die before they surrendered.
That's why we dropped.
Yeah,
the bombs. You know, like
as horrible as that is. You know,
it is what it is.
War.
It's part of history.
And yeah, it's history.
But they literally were not going to give up. Eventually, even if we hadn't stepped in or something had happened,
even once everybody else did,
Hitler was going to meet.
Like, no.
Eventually, Hitler was going to meet head to head with Japan, or anyways, it was going to get ugly. But that wasn't going to happen. Once the United States got involved, baby. But then there's a movie all about that too, Oppenheimer. They show the whole bomb, that whole process. That shit was intense. But yeah, not to get too sidetracked. But yeah, that was a hell of a series.
It was.
What were we on? I think we had Dogma, or you said Tropic Thunder over Dogma?
Yeah.
Oh man, Dogma is taking some licks now. The ground is shrinking beneath its feet.
It's got some W's in there though.
Next up, we've got Dogma or Dinner for Schmucks.
Dude, Dinner for Schmucks had some hilarious lines.
It did, yeah. Paul Rudd and Steve Carell.
Like, oh, my back. He's like, oh, what's wrong? He's like, is it your back? After he says my back like 6 times. Dude, Paul Rudd being the straight man in things, underrated. I feel like he's the goofball most of the time now. Like, when it was him and Steve Carell, he kind of played the more straight man, you know what I mean? Like, he was the more serious character. He was the Abbott to Steve Carell's Costello. That said, great time with that movie. Dogma.
All right. Oh, man, it took the lead back.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it can hold on to it at the very end here when it meets. So it's going to be Dogma or Clerks 2.
Dang.
Finish it out with another Kevin Smith classic.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I probably will say Dogma, because I think I have it ranked higher on my list for Kevin Smith movies. But it's hard because, like, I think that overall Clerks 2 is more comedic.
Yeah.
So, like
Dogma's like a better movie.
Clerks 2 might be better. But Dogma, I think, is a better movie.
Yeah, I mean, most of Clerks 2 takes place in the fucking movies.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. No, well, that's what I mean, but it's like one of those Kevin Smith contained,
it's like
budget,
a fast food kind
dialogue-heavy movies. Dogma felt like an adventure of sorts, too, because, like, they went on the road, they went, looking for the Catholic, the cathedral, I should say. The archway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had a lot of stars, though, looking back at it, too. Like, a lot of people were young in the
developing
process.
Stars.
Alanis Morissette was in it, too. She did some songs for it. So you're going to go with Dogma.
Yeah.
Dogma with a 6-4 win. It was getting its ass whooped there a few times in a row.
Well,
it was
harsh
hard.
At the beginning, though.
Talladega, the interview, and... No, you took Dogma over Talladega Nights, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nacho Libre and Tropic Thunder got one over on it, though. 6-4 Dogma. Not bad. Not bad.
It held up.
Yep.
You are up.
All right, what do we got?
Your main is going to be The Hangover.
The first one? Okay.
Yep. Is that your favorite in the series?
It might be. I mean, I liked part 3 a lot too. Some people don't like part 3. Some people didn't
I think some people like part 2, right? Isn't that like kind of a big one, or did that one get really shit?
No, 2 was. I think 2 is liked as well, but I think most people that saw 2 were still like, but 1's better. But there are definitely fans. Like, I like all 3 of them. I haven't watched any of those in a while either. Not in a number of years. They're a good time to just throw on and crack up, you know?
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of fun to revisit those after like several years break probably.
Yeah, I don't know the last time I don't even know if I've seen all of them. I'm trying to think which ones I've seen and which ones I haven't. I know I've seen more than one of them. I know I've seen the original one more than once. But all right, so The Hangover or Tropic Thunder.
That's tough. Tropic Thunder is hilarious though, and then they got like Danny McBride's in that, Tom Cruise is in that, Robert Downey Jr. is playing a black guy.
Dude, yeah, he's
that was a
hilarious
great character though.
He's hilarious in that. Jack Black's hilarious.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller's pretty funny in it too. Like, there's a lot of
Jay's in that too.
Matthew McConaughey's pretty funny in it. Yeah, it's a good time.
When that kid goes flying off the fucking bridge, it's some crazy shit. He's just like, ding.
They all think it's like a prosthetic, like a fake head at first.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun movie because it was like a movie about the making of a movie.
Yeah, it was like they were making a war film and they got caught in a war.
I may give that one to Tropic Thunder.
Alright. Tropic Thunder for the win.
Haven't seen either one of them in years. We need to watch Tropic Thunder though, because that is one we've never watched.
Yeah, I have it.
I think I have it somewhere too.
It might be on something too.
Yeah.
Alright. So, The Hangover or Benchwarmers?
The Hangover. I like the Benchwarmers too. I mean, it's been years since I've seen that. But yeah, I was always people loved like saying the lines like the Sammy Sprinkler thing or whatever it was. People love quoting that, or maybe it just gave him a reason to spit.
There was some funny Benchwarmer shit.
There is.
I also I miss John Heder. I
Was
wish
it
he'd
John
make more
Lovitz
shit.
in that too?
Yeah, he was in it.
Oh yeah.
Rob Schneider, David Spade, John Heder. I wish he'd be in more shit. Like Napoleon Dynamite was great.
He's trying to smack the door. John Heder. I thought it was Heater. Is it Heder? I don't know.
Heater. John.
He was Napoleon Dynamite. Either way,
Yeah.
He was in some shit. Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory was fucking good.
It was underrated for sure.
It was 100%.
I thought that movie was pretty damn funny.
I did too.
All right, so The Hangover though, over Benchwarmers.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I like the Benchwarmers though. I'm not trying to give it a bunch of shit.
All right, so The Hangover or Shaun of the Dead.
I probably saw Shaun of the Dead not too long after it came out. I think we rented it from Blockbuster. Because I think my brother wanted to see Dawn of the Dead, and I don't know if mom would let him rent that or whatever, and then he got Shaun of the Dead instead, or if it was one of those situations that happen sometimes, and we got the Dawn of the Dead thing, and then the disc for Shaun of the Dead was in there. I don't know. I think maybe he meant to get it, but I always thought Shaun of the Dead was pretty entertaining, and I'll still throw it on.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
I'll still throw it on list. That was one of the best parody movies I feel like that's ever been made.
Yeah, out of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, their movies that they made, it's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I would say the same. But I also do think it's anything that was kind of parodying for just laughter or admiration or whatever, it was definitely one of the better ones ever, Because
a lot of those were made in the 2000s as well.
They were,
those parody comedies.
I might give it to Shaun of the Dead by a hair.
Yeah.
On that one.
Yeah, I really like Shaun of the Dead. All right. The Hangover or Dazed and Confused.
That one's fucking classic at this point. What did it come out in 1993?
Yeah, it was a 90s movie about a 70s movie, and now it's even old.
Yeah.
In modern times. It's 90s set in the 70s, and now the 90s are far away. Further away than the 70s were in the movie.
I've only actually seen Dazed and Confused maybe once or twice. That's it. Crazy. I think
it's pretty enjoyable.
We watched it at Cheatham's, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna crush the Cheatham's dreams tonight.
Oh, if I took the Hangover over it?
Yeah, because they both I know Justin really thinks highly of Dazed and Confused. I know Cheatham.
He'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, I also really like Dazed and Confused.
I do too. No, it was funny. I just haven't watched. I didn't see it. That's another one that I didn't see until like later on. You know.
Yeah.
Not until at least probably 2016 or 17. I'm gonna go with Dazed and Confused. I think. I mean, I've seen The Hangover more times, but I do think Dazed and Confused is like aged better, and I think it probably will maybe in the future. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. The Hangover will be, people watch it too, but it's weird because like I felt like all the comedies we grew up with and were watching through like the 2000s and so on were just never gonna end, and then like this whole era of shit fucking came, and then they're like, no more comedy, can't make fun of anything. And it's just like, what the fuck? Now there's nothing coming out.
Or they're all on streaming. You have to like find them.
It just doesn't
There's occasionally a funny one that you can find. Like the comedians are still releasing some pretty funny stuff on streaming services, but
yeah,
there's not like a comedy blockbuster anymore,
No, I wish there was. That was good times.
Yeah. So what did you take?
I said Dazed and Confused because it'll probably I mean, I've seen it like less for sure, but I mean, I know it's I mean, the thing is with me is I'm like, I actually am one of the few people that like appreciated all three of the Hangover movies, and I'm not just like, oh, the original was, like I thought they were all funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know necessarily. I'm like, oh well, compare them to other things. It's hard. Like I do most of the time whenever I do watch them, I watch them as a trilogy. Watch them in order. It's kind of one of the only like comedy trilogies you can really watch. I mean, I guess there's some out there, but not a ton.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's really not. They don't make like...
The Clerks, I guess, have 3 of them now, too. The Bad Boys are like action, adventure, and comedy.
Yeah, I really enjoy that series.
Mm-hmm. I would say Hangover will probably get a victory.
There's 4 of those now, though. Bad Boys movies.
Mm. So yeah, I'll probably go with that. I'm sure the Hangover will get something though.
Alright, so the Hangover it's taking a fucking spanking.
It is so far.
The Hangover or The Mask.
The Mask was a pretty big nostalgic childhood
like a
trip too.
Childhood one for me.
Yeah,
as well.
Same.
There's like quite a few Jim Carrey ones, so like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective was as well.
I really like that one too because like it reminded me of Batman Forever also because like he's in that and then he plays like the Riddler and then he's in the mask and he's got this like villainous like look and shit, but he's doing all these things. I don't know, man. The Mask is pretty classic too. But like nowadays, if I'm gonna watch one, a few times, let's say in a short period, it's maybe more likely gonna be The Hangover. But I haven't seen either one of them in years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that one's definitive, but I might have to go with The Hangover actually.
The Hangover.
You're probably more nostalgic about The Mask than I am, but I do really like The Mask, and it has nostalgia for me as well.
Alright, so The Hangover got another win. Probably won't hear. The Hangover or Superbad.
Superbad. Yeah, Superbad's up there, man. Superbad, probably for both of us, that's like among my favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, it holds a pretty high place for me, for sure.
It's up there. It was a breakthrough film.
It's pretty, I don't even know. It was in kind of like the teen movie, almost for the generation before us and our generation, because we didn't I guess you could sort of say like we had Project X, but that was almost more just degenerate.
I felt
craziness.
way more connected to Superbad though.
Yeah.
You know, and just like growing up, and like yeah, we were younger, like 11, 12 and stuff, and that was big, and it was out and released and everything. But it was like, it was still, you know, there was probably a gap when I didn't watch it for a while, and then I finally watched it again. And I'm like, God damn, this is so funny. And like for me to take Superbad over some of the other movies like Franco and Rogan have made, and just any combination of those guys, like it's saying a lot because they made a lot of bangers.
Yeah.
So, but that's just how good Superbad is. I do think it was like an honest, funny, like in a way heartfelt portrayal of like the teenage life, like, you know, especially at that time, and like what comedy was like, you know what I mean? It was so, but I really do think, like, yeah, like some of the stuff's raunchy, but I really will defend that movie, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think you would do the same.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's another one that, like, it has heart, and I mean, it's like, it's a teenager movie. It's just not, it's like, they're not meant to be portrayed as two dudes that are well put together and have it figured out, and you're supposed to.
Your fucking life's chaotic.
Like, root.
You're 18.
Yeah, you're supposed to root for them, but like also you're supposed to like laugh at them in a way and be like, man, these guys are fucking dumbasses, you know? But you're still like, yeah, they're fucking teenagers, you know? So like,
it was so funny though, just the
and
stuff.
they also learned lessons and figured shit out a little bit more along the way of the movie.
Yeah. Damn. We start talking about these, I'm like, man, let's flip them all on.
Alright, so Superbad for the win.
Oh yeah.
Alright, The Hangover or Clerks.
Clerks. Damn, this is making it look like I hate The Hangover. And like, I really find The Hangover's pretty funny. Like, I'm one of the few people that didn't piss all over it whenever the third one came out. And they're like, oh shit, the best one was the first one, they shouldn't have made it anymore. I heard that all the time, and I told those people to go fuck off. No, I literally was like, why? Like, they're all three solid and entertaining. You know what I mean? And like, the summer that The Hangover 3 came out, like me and Nick binged the first two. We went to go to the theater to see that one. Literally like a week or two after, we went to go see This Is the End. Talk about a banger summer of films and stuff. Man, oh man. That was a good time.
Yeah.
It was like 2013, going into senior year.
That's the thing too. Like, there's a certain nostalgia about the movies that came out like in our intermediate to high school years, you know? Because they like kind of hold that sort of place in your heart, like middle school to high school. But yeah, Clerks, that's just a classic.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith,
yeah.
Great guy. Classic film. And also, like, as a person that, you know, like, you get this too, like, just be like, to have a sort of like scratching itch for artistic expression, and like, he's like, Clerks is just an inspiring piece of work as a project because of what it was. You know what I mean?
I mean, none of the rest of the stuff ever would have happened if it had been successful. He bet the fucking, what he had.
Yeah, he bet the whole farm on that shit. That's like,
what he had, he bet on that thing.
Even more than the farm. Like, if if that shit, nobody watched that shit, he would have just been in debt forever.
He made that shit for like 27 grand and maxed out all of his credit cards.
Yeah.
To pay for it.
Took out more credit cards just to max them out, just to pay for it.
When Harvey Weinstein and the Weinstein Company finally bought it, it made him a millionaire. Like, it made like $3 million in the box office. It helped. I mean, I don't know if that immediately made him a millionaire or not, but like that.
And then it became a cult classic after that. Like, a bunch of teenagers started like getting it on VHS, and it was even in Scream. You know.
Yeah. Crazy. Clerks. No, that's an all-time classic for sure. People made it like a cult classic, and some of those other ones got big. And
yeah,
I mean, eventually, like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back had like a $20 or $21 million budget, something like that. So it was like considerably more than, you know. And Kevin Smith with a budget, like he works really well when there isn't much of a budget. Like Chasing Amy after Mallrats, I want to say financially, you know, I enjoyed Mallrats again, but he pretty much put him in the hole because it didn't do as well as like he was hoping it would do after the success of Clerks. But then when we put out Chasing Amy for like a considerably, because I think he had like it was like $27,000 to pay for Clerks, and then Mallrats was granted like $1 million or $2 million, a couple mil, whatever for the project. They didn't make all that much of it back, and then he made Chasing Amy for only like $750,000, and then they made more money again.
Yeah.
And then Dogma was like the next project, which Dogma had a considerable more amount of funding behind it, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back did too. But I thought those both slapped too.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would rank all those movies now that
they were good ones.
Reboot and Clerks 3 are out. I wonder how I would rank the whole thing. But that's a discussion.
Think about it.
Yeah, that's a discussion for probably another day.
But Clerks for the win.
Yeah, that one's about just as easy as whatever the other one was. The Superbad.
The Hangover or Meet the Fockers.
Wasn't it like Meet the Parents?
Meet the Parents was 1. Meet the Fockers was 2.
That's right. And then
Little
Fockers was 3. Oh.
That was another trilogy. Meet the Parents was when he spiked the volleyball into the mom's face.
Yeah.
Meet the Fockers was when they had the football game and he fucked up Robert De Niro on accident.
Yeah. And I think they were kind of odds in Little Fockers.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. We saw that one in theaters. I'm trying to remember, it's been a year since I've seen Meet the Fockers too. I did enjoy those movies too. Like, it wouldn't be bad to go and revisit like Meet the Parents, you know, the first one.
Yeah.
But Ben Stiller.
They were all good. Ones. Yeah, they were all pretty decent. I don't know if I'd put Parents or Meet the Parents or Meet the Fockers first.
I know, I was thinking about that. I would probably have to rewatch them to fully express that opinion. I would probably go with The Hangover on that one.
All right.
At least under current information acknowledgement.
All right, so The Hangover gets another win. The Hangover or The Other Guys.
Probably The Other Guys.
Yeah.
Maybe by a little bit, because like I don't think I saw the first Hangover in theaters. I saw 2 and 3 in theaters, and I saw The Other Guys, and like because of the star power of the whole film, it felt like The Other Guys was an event to go see. Like Will Ferrell, The Rock, Samuel L. Jackson, you know, Mark Wahlberg. Like, it was loaded with people in it, and so so you thought, and then they died like fucking 5 minutes in. But it did have
for the bushes.
It did have quite a few, yeah. But honestly, as far as that goes, like Wahlberg was kind of able to show that he could be really funny too, and like I personally, that was like one of Will Ferrell's my favorite parts of Will Ferrell that he's ever fucking had, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's number 1, but
the Gator don't take no shit.
Yeah, that was legendary, man. Like, The Other Guys is up there.
Honestly, like, yeah, I like his more, like, it's funny, I guess I like Will Ferrell as, like, an outlandish athlete, because, like, Talladega Nights, I thought he was pretty damn funny. Semi-Pro, I feel like is an underrated role of his.
Yeah, I did
guess
like
an
that
underrated movie. I really enjoyed Semi-Pro. and, like, for some reason, I feel like I see it as a Halloween costume, but I don't actually ever hear anybody talk about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's like people dress up as Jackie Moon, but who the fuck ever talks about that movie?
Dude, he had some bangers there for years though. Like Old School, he had that like smaller role as Chaz in Wedding Crashers, Blades of Glory, Semi Pro.
Chaz was a real piece
Step
of
Brothers,
shit.
Talladega Nights. Like he was in so
Anchorman.
much shit. The other guys, yeah, Anchorman 2. Yeah, he had a long run too. I don't know if anybody quite had the run that Sandler had, but they all fucking
And Elf,
they all had quite a few big films. Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that group. Like that frat pack of guys. Some fucking funny movies came out of them.
Oh yeah.
Jack Black, Paul Rudd, the Wilson brothers.
So you're going with the other guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Hangover's taking an ass whooping.
It's got 3 wins. And here's an out of the blue one that's going to mean a lot more to you than I'm sure it's going to mean to, I mean, even myself, but a lot of the viewers. But
Oh no.
The
That was
Hangover or Taking Care of Business.
Oh. I mean, the Hangover, or not the Hangover. Taking Care of Business is like, I grew up watching it, but that's because my dad was so fucking big on it.
Yeah.
Like, he knows. Here's the thing. He doesn't think like, oh, this is the funniest movie I've ever seen. But like, because it was almost like about like sort of nothing, it just, misinformation happened. Oh, I left my file of facts. Like some random guy picks it up and like a whole bunch of crazy shit ensued. Like it just became
Such a dated movie, but still like a good time.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like that was fun when we watched it. That was a good time. And that came out in 1990, I think.
I enjoy those like late 80s, early 90s movies though.
Mhm.
Like just the vibe of those, that era of movies, like I enjoy a lot of times, I feel like.
I thought about throwing some like Chevy Chase on yours, but I was like, I was debating it.
Yeah,
I know
it
I put
depends.
Christmas
like,
Vacation on one of these.
I enjoy some of his National Lampoon stuff, but I feel like a lot of people like Chevy Chase and Bill Murray are like kind of like compared a lot, and I'm like much more of a Bill Murray person than a Chevy Chase person, but
Yeah.
like I do enjoy like most of the Vacation movies. Christmas Vacation's probably my favorite because I grew up on it, but like the original Vacation's even funny, and European Vacation's good.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen I think I've seen the regular Vacation though.
And then Vegas Vacation's probably like the worst of them, but
Oh.
Yeah.
What else is in there? Is that most?
I
of
think
them?
that's all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a number of them though.
Yeah, there's 4 of them.
Oh, so what was that one?
What was that? Oh, Taking Care of Business.
Oh, I don't know, because like even some of the silly parts to old movies like that like are really funny. You know what I mean? Like it had a bunch of jokes. Like I can kind of see what you mean, but it's I don't know. It's like that has a nostalgia feel because and that's one of my dad's. I don't know where he would rank that or even how, because he has even said he's like I know it's not like but he just. I forget how he found it or started watching it, but it just became like a big movie that he just rewatched a lot as the years went on, over and over and over. We watched it multiple times.
I feel like everybody has. If you're like a fan of movies, you have at least a couple movies that you're like, yeah, I know these. Like nobody really talks about these,
Yeah.
and they're not great, but I enjoy it. You know?
Oh yeah. Well, and like The Hangover might be funnier, like especially by today's like standards, you know. But that has like that whole tug on, you know. It's crazy because I've seen it so many times because Dad's like just multiple times throughout the years we need him to be like, let's watch this. Got us on it. Oh man. Yeah, that one's tougher than that's unexpectedly not easy, you know. Did you have anything after this one?
That was the last one.
Really?
Yep. Figured I'd throw the random, unexpected one just at the end.
Can't believe you took Dogma over Clerks 2.
I can't believe I took Dogma over Talladega Nights.
I can. No,
That's one that I felt like that could go either way.
Yeah. The Hangover, Taking Care of Business. I may go The Hangover like as far as funniness, you know, goes maybe. But as the years go on, just because I've been kind of hooked on it, like it's possible that I might end up rewatching Taking Care of Business more than The Hangover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
all right.
I don't know what that means, but that's, you know, gotta go one way or another.
So you're going The Hangover.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go The Hangover.
So The Hangover didn't do too bad. It got 4 wins out of the 10.
Yeah. That was tough.
There you have it.
That's the
Comedy
segment.
movies,
Oh
part
man,
2.
that was a good time though. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. It's like last time I loaded it up with some of the movies that we had really like. Some of them that you were huge on, and like some of them that we actually like bonded over. So we've already used like a lot of those, McBride, Rogan, Franco films and stuff. And I was like, I gotta go a different direction. Then I was like, well, I can pick a movie from each of these actors if I start thinking of good people to pick something from, you know. I would have even thought of Nacho Libre. I mean, like, I know it's out there and like I've seen it at least once or twice, the whole thing. And that's one of those movies that always got played on TV. So like you could flip whenever we had direct TV or whatever, you could just flip to that. Oh, Nacho Libre's on. But I know for sure I've seen it all the way through purposefully once or twice. But that was one that I was like, I knew you were big on. So I was like, I would not have even thought of that. I'm gonna throw that on there because I was thinking about other Jack Black movies, and I was gonna put one of those on there, and then I was scrolling through.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite Jack Black movies, just because it like holds a childhood place with me. Like same with School of Rock and
Tenacious D, baby. He had a run there. He had a run there for a while. So. Well, I guess it's time for a little old break.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with episode 183. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we have returned from our break. And we are currently in the midst of casting the Spotlight episode 183. And it is time for a session of the good, the bad, and the shits. But we await to see who wins this game 6. I thought it was going to be OKC, but they're getting their ass whooped now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
By 27.
We kind of know who's going to win at this point.
Yeah. This is unbelievable that they dropped the ball this fucking bad. Like, this is an ass whooping.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't even think Tyrese was playing. Like, I don't even know. This is brutal, man. But anyway, it looks like a game 7 is going to be forced. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that is. I guess it's back in OKC. So we'll see. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. What is your thoughts on Gunther taking the title off Jey?
Yeah, interesting. I was kind of surprised that it was like that soon. I mean, if you look at it, Jey held the belt like less than 2 months. You know? I don't know if that's because they're like, well, the crowd's still behind him, the crowd's still really hot, let's just pull it off of him and we'll put it back on him down the road. I don't know if that's it all the thinking.
It's also
or what.
it makes the world title picture feel a little more unpredictable because guys and the girls were getting like just long reigns, especially in the world title picture. So like getting a really over person that people didn't really feel like it was going to be the time to pull it off them and to like have them lose it on an episode of Raw. And the way that it happened, it just kind of makes it feel like, oh fuck, like.
I wonder if they're trying to test the waters and see if he's going to keep all of his momentum without the belt. Now that we've already seen the chase
I think it's
and the
also
achievement.
part of that to kind of see what happens with Jey now. I've heard the rumors that potentially the Usos might reunite for a while. I also think it was partly to do this Gunther Goldberg stuff with the belt, maybe.
But why do you need the belt on the line?
It really didn't.
You know what I mean?
Unless I don't even know. Maybe because like they're not calling this Goldberg's like retirement or anything. They're just like, this is Goldberg's last ride. It's good to have him back. Blah 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 for this. So it almost makes it feel like like he might have another match. Maybe he calls it at SummerSlam or something. Maybe he gets close to beating Gunther. Something happens. He gets kind of fucked over, whatever, and then he puts his career on the line at SummerSlam. But I was like, I don't know if they're going to put Gunther in like
two matches with
title defenses with Goldberg, you know?
That's what I was kind of wondering because whenever you said I think it's going to be longer than one match.
Or they could have Seth kind of try to cash in and fuck him over, and then he wants to face Seth, and Seth's like, okay, but your career will be on the line.
Or even crazy, what if Goldberg fucking beats Gunther and then he gets cashed in on?
Yeah, that could happen too. And then, then he wants his rematch against Seth, but Seth says you got to put your career on the line, then that happens at SummerSlam.
Do you think that Goldberg would, like, be down for that, though, to hold it for a few minutes and then get cashed in on?
I don't know. It could be interesting for storytelling purposes, but
that would be insane.
Is it too much?
If he won the world title at 58. Yeah. I don't think anybody's wanted that. Like, is there anybody that, like, has held it? I think Vince might have been the oldest, and he was, like, 53 or however old ever he held it.
Yeah, I don't think there would be anybody that old to have held the world title before. I don't know though. It could be like that match didn't feel like it needed the title, but now that it is a title match, it almost puts that interesting aspect into things, and also them saying not like Gunther's going to retire Goldberg at Saturday night's main event. Like, that's not the way this is. Yeah. Unless that's the way they start talking in the next few weeks. Yeah. That's not how they're booking this to sound.
You gotta watch the wording.
Yeah.
You know, it matters.
I don't know though. I think personally I'm a Gunther fan, and I think that it's interesting for storytelling for sure to like have him unpredictably beat Jey on an episode of Raw after just a hard fought match, and he just makes Jey pass out. You know? It's just like that kind of just puts that like, oh fuck. I can just, because you don't really like think, oh, you know, it's the main event of Raw. It's the WrestleMania rematch. James hasn't really held the title that long. Mm-hmm. They're not going to put it back on Gunther this quick. And then it happens, you know? And also, his character just makes so much sense if he is in the title picture, he's the champion. Gunther.
Yeah, like, it does. And it makes it more credible.
Yeah.
And he is that guy that you have got to, like, beat. You know, he's kind of like the measuring stick in that way.
I forget who it was that said that kind of put that as the comparison. They're like, the reason Gunther's always a champion in WWE right now is because he is that kind of guy. Like, you can't definitively put any single person up against Gunther in a one-on-one match and say definitively, yeah, they beat him. So, like, he's the perfect foil for anybody as a champion, you know? Because he just has that credibility, and he's like, he is that dominating and intimidating in the ring.
Yeah,
and it's like, he is beatable, but it is also very believable that he would beat anyone.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, even if you can pick a few losses out of this, which, you know, by now he's got a few, but he wins significantly, like, more matches than almost anybody, like, by percentage.
Yeah. Been a champion 80+% of the time in the company.
Yeah. So he's not going to go down. I like that a character or, like, you know, somebody like that exists in the realm, because he you know, you gravitate you gravitate towards him and his character because it feels believable, it feels real, it feels like he's the guy,
because
you've got to surpass,
like, it feels
to get
like
to
he's
this level.
taking it serious, you know? Like,
100%. I enjoy that, honestly, but I mean, it's a decision, I guess, like we talked about with Robin Randall, to put Goldberg against him, because, like, what do you do? Like, even whenever Goldberg was really over at a point in time, and he's still over. I can't believe the amount of cheers he got when he came out. That was insane. That was so loud.
Yeah, it was cool.
That was like the loudest Goldberg chants I've heard in a while.
It's because he hasn't been around.
Yeah.
When it started to get overkill with it, people started to boo, you know?
Yeah.
He had to go away for a while, and now people in Atlanta, Saturday night's main event, he's gonna get a big pop, I'm sure.
Well, here's, like, because Gunther's like the beat the shit out of you physical wrestler, like, my take is, you know, how believable is it if a 58-year-old man who has lost a lot more of his matches in his career in the later part, you know, like this last portion, I mean, he's won a lot, but he's lost more than, like, previous eras, you know?
Mm-hmm.
How are you supposed to work that match? Is that a short match? Because even if you're like, oh, Goldberg doesn't have the wrestling skill to go that long.
Match.
Even if you're like, oh, he doesn't have the wrestling skill to go that long, which he doesn't, he's still 58, so, like, he's going to be gassed before too long anyway. Even if he knew how to wrestle a bunch of shit.
I mean, and I'm a Goldberg fan. Like,
I like Goldberg.
I like him. I was excited to see him. I'm actually pumped for this match. I want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I could be in the minority. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. The internet wrestling community you can't take as the real, because the crowd reaction was what it was. People online can bitch and moan as much as they want, but it feels like people are decently excited. It's something different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's interesting for Gunther. You know, I'm sure, like, Gunther also grew up watching Goldberg, so it's kind of an interesting thing for him to do too. You know, this has also felt like I even said earlier in the year with the whole Pat McAfee stuff, it's like a Gunther side quest year.
But now he's champion again.
Yeah, but it still was almost like he's on side quest. He's facing Goldberg. Like,
but if he's got the title, that's why I'm like, man, now Seth is pulled into question with that too. But, you know, you would think it would have to be some sort of a shorter match.
It will be. I think Goldberg's gonna come out the gate quick. He's gonna probably hit a couple spears. He might even hit a jackhammer.
Well, if it doesn't go 2 minutes, it sure as hell favors Gunther. That's for damn sure.
And then maybe when he goes for another spear or something, Gunther dodges it, hits him with a power bomb, locks him in a sleeper. That's match. I don't know.
But so you're You think that there's a good chance there's more than one match?
I mean, if it plays out the way I just said, then I don't know, maybe not.
If it is a little faulty, I can maybe see something.
But yeah, if something,
because then it's kind of like a little bit of an arc to it instead of just one more match out the door. You know?
Yeah. It feels like something could happen. I don't know what though. Like Seth could play a factor in it. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing is too is what they do a lot lately. It's not just briefcase, but they tease it a lot. Oh, is he gonna do it? Just comes out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it didn't even have to be that he cashes in for something fuckery to happen. Goldberg to win. That you know what I mean. Something else. Although like. You would think that they would keep Gunther's character and Seth away from each other because they're both kind of villainous, but they're...
I mean, but they ran into each other on Raw, like, backstage a couple weeks ago and got in each other's face a little bit, just because that's what I kind of enjoy about Triple H's booking.
Mm-hmm. I think heels should be able to feud with
certain
heels.
And
not all heels
and faces, like, if... It doesn't matter if the crowd doesn't like both of them or likes both of them. Like, if they have a personal problem with each other or they both have a similar thing they're after, then, like, they don't always like each other.
Yeah, it always ends up, you're in my way, I'm gonna fucking, put an end to it kind of thing. But it's like, honestly, I feel like you could always do that anyway, like face, like, with certain people or whatever. It's like, oh, I'm gonna, competition doesn't have to be like, it's helpful for storytelling if there's a hero and villain, but I don't think you have to tell a story. You know what I mean?
No.
I think you can tell it other ways too. But all heels would not be good in a clash against each other, but theirs may work. I just kind of figured Seth would, I guess, stay out of it for a little bit just to kind of, we don't know what he's going to do. But that's kind of like what we were talking about the other night, is I'm like, I love the entire group, including Heyman, of guys. But some of the segments feel like, okay, we're building towards something, but it's just like, do we have a point that we're trying to arrive at, like as like a goal? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they need a certain direction, like they're talking about this certain vision for the future, and we know that the end game is like Seth being a world champion, but it's like
have all the belts, I guess. Maybe I don't know if that's it.
That could be part of it too, is they could be going for the mid cards and the tag belts, and but that could be cool. I mean, there's definitely a place you could take it, and like, there's still time to build to that. But it almost feels like it's like Mania's been a minute at this point. Like
2 months. Night one was 2 months ago today.
And I know, like, Bronson hasn't been in it that long. Like, Bronson Reed's not really like since Saturday night's main event, like, less than a month ago, even, or a month ago. So, but yeah, I just want to know what the overall, like, what are we doing with, like, what's
the plan exactly?
What is this group? You know?
Yeah, it does feel like they are. Like the talent isn't the problem, obviously. It's like, but it does feel a bit directionless right now. Like like they're kind of just trying to figure out.
It almost just feels like
their footing.
Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are like Seth's cronies at this point. And that's a little bit of a bummer because I mean, Seth's like my dude. I love Seth, but like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are like dope individually. So, like, it almost, like, in a way feels like a step down for them two to be out there in, like, business suits and sunglasses. Yeah. Just, like, doing Seth's dirty work. It's like, I mean, these guys, like, had characters and were already badasses before this group. Yeah. So this almost feels like if we're not progressing them, there's a step down for them. Like, they need to be out here dominating. They could even kept their original characters. Just let them be what they were, just maybe a little more reined in, because they got like Seth and Heyman in their ear. But like you don't have to like make them all fucking like buttoned up and quiet and shit, you know? It's like,
yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know what the long term like exactly the plan is or how long this is gonna go. But it feels like they should be picking up some belts or like just bullying Monday Night Raw. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just basically like bullying them into submission.
doing
Like
kind of
join
what they
us,
want.
or we're gonna beat the hell out of you.
That's how it
guys, you know?
started.
Yeah.
Because they threatened Sammy. They're like, move, you gotta move brands, or we're gonna like beat the hell out of you at the end of Raw tonight.
Yeah.
Basically.
Which they did.
Yeah. And then that was kind of a cool intro to it, but we'll see. I mean, I'm not like down on it or anything.
No.
I like everybody in the group. I think that it has a lot of potential. So
I have a lot of good things to say about it, but I'm like, I feel like you gotta be able to fairly criticize too, and that's kind of that was my main criticism when we talked about it the other night. I'm like, it just feels a bit like it almost, it feels like there needs to be something pulling you down like to the earth, like exactly like a plan, a mission, like what they are trying to do right now. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It feels like you should be kind of on that ride with them, and it shouldn't feel at times odd or like aimless. You know what I mean? Not that it is. I'm just saying like so far what we've been presented, it's like there's been some things that are questionable, but it's like if you're gonna put all three of these guys who are all uniquely talented, obviously Heyman too, if you're gonna put them all together, you got to figure out the best way to utilize all of their talent. You know what I mean? Because like you just said too, they were doing kind of their own thing separately. Like Bronson just had come back and everything, and Seth had won the Mania main event, and Breaker had been IC champ and everything. But it feels like to be here, they need to have like a valid reason for like being together, and like this is who we're gonna win with. You know what I mean? This is how we're gonna take control of the whole show. Is like these forces united.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
see.
I think that hopefully it turns into not like a copycat version, but like an evolution thing in the aspect that it ends up helping Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed like progress in their careers, because that could be cool. But time will tell.
Yeah, both of them have something already, though. I mean, obviously Breaker's.
Oh yeah.
Gotten
I mean,
a lot,
that's the thing,
pops.
though. That's what I mean. Like they already have they had their own thing going, but at this point, it feels like a digression, if anything, for them. But I feel like if given time, hopefully it ends up helping them in the long run.
Yeah.
And their career as a whole. Like you can look at this era and be like, oh yeah, that was like cool. Like Batista and Orton, like they really became awesome in their own right, but like still their evolution era stuff was cool.
Yeah.
Even when they became,
it was sick.
legend
All the
killer
guys
and the animal.
complimented each other, and like they fit together. Like they had great like backstage segments. They built that thing up too for years, like the drama and the subtle hints about Batista like potentially turn his back, and Triple H, man, he was jealous. They fucking dumped Orton. Just
anytime one of them kind of started to get ahead of Triple H in the group, they're like,
yep. Well, so wait, what was the
Gunther taking the belt off Jey?
I don't know that I would have done it that quick or not, but I'm gonna say fair, because it's not like he's not a credible champion, and it makes sense. Like he beat Jey multiple times before Jey beat him. Now it looks like, oh, he beat Jey again. Now it looks like, oh man, that really was the one time that he was able to rip one off like Gunther. It's not like an all the time thing. Like it looks like 9 out of 10 times Gunther would have won that match. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like now.
Yeah, and like it was his fluke night or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it also, I feel like, isn't a huge detriment to Jey as a face.
No,
it
I
almost
think
makes people want to cheer him again, especially advancing in the King of the Ring and that fatal 4-way against like the 3 way bigger guys. It was like Rusev, Sheamus, and Bronson Reed in that fatal 4-way, and he advanced. And next week it's going to be Jey versus Cody.
Oh, really?
To advance to the finals.
Dude, I didn't know. I only watched clips from this past one. I need to watch SmackDown tomorrow.
And SmackDown's gonna have Truth and Cena and Orton and Sammy to advance to the finals. So yeah, that could be interesting. I feel like it's gonna boil down to Cody Orton in the finals, because that could be really dope.
That would be sick.
But I also kind of want to see Sammy get a shot at a world title, because the winner of the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring get a world title shot. So
yeah, I'm gonna go with fair on that one. I mean, it's fair because, like I said, it's not like he is a credible champion. He's been it just makes sense with him with the belt. But man, goddamn, that is not what I saw coming. Less than 2 months?
I know.
That is not what and people were pumped. Like, every time those celebrations, the show-offs and everything, just fucking coming out there and just doing all the shit. Like, it was as hot as it had ever been.
His entrance got people hyped.
It was as hot as it had ever been, It was, people were still for the world title.
Yeah.
But maybe he gets it back. It being that quick makes me feel like he may get it back. But we'll see. The problem, I mean, this field is pretty saturated. Like, there's definitely some people you're like, oh man, they might get it or they might get it. So there's no telling when, but I think he has a good chance to win another one especially if he stays over as he is.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't give up hope, but it is I was initially shocked that he lost it that quick. I was like that was one of the more shocking things in wrestling in a while.
Yeah, I know. It's been kind of cool that they've been that they kind of do still try to shock you like that every now and then, because I like that I've watched wrestling for so long and I can predict a decent amount of things that are going to happen, that sometimes whenever they do really pull the rug out from under me, I'm like, holy fuck. It's like entertaining.
Did you think that they were going to put the belt on him any longer than 6 months, or probably under that?
Probably under.
Yeah. I just didn't think it would be that short.
Yeah.
So maybe hold it for 4 or 5 months.
I thought it'd be 3 to 4.
Well, because there's also, you got to put him up against contenders that he can believably beat. And I'm not saying he can't, but you got to be careful about it not being people that he's never been able to beat these guys before.
Get cashed in on at SummerSlam by Seth. That's kind of what I was thinking initially.
Yeah, that went through my head too.
I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah. We got some time to talk about the SummerSlam stuff leading up to that.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll throw mine out there.
What do you got?
What do you think of the birthday cake flavor? Not actual birthday cakes per se, but birthday cake flavored anything. Because this flavor, I'll tell you now, it might be more hit and miss than almost anything. Sometimes I'm like, man, I think it's gross in certain things.
I quite enjoy it.
It's sometimes it hits okay, there was this old Blue Bunny, I'm pretty sure, little cartons, or maybe it was a different brand.
I think, I know what you're talking about.
But it was it was blue or whatever, or the syrup or whatever, and it was blue, some sort of that was amazing.
Cake chunk,
that ice cream.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Now, I did not like the birthday cake bang.
I thought that was good. I didn't mind it.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I didn't
Hey,
mind.
this is cherry chocolate. I like this one.
I didn't mind that one either.
I don't even think that's a thing.
It was, wasn't it? It was.
No, it was like black cherry vanilla.
Oh, okay.
But no, there was like, dude, the iced coffee ones weren't really that bad. There was like a chocolate mocha or whatever. I think you're the one that told me, you're like, yeah, that one's actually almost better if it's a little warm, surprisingly. And then the other one was like a cookies and cream bang, and that was actually really good. It wasn't. It was cold though. It was better like that way.
The birthday cake bang. Yeah, that one went bad.
I had it, I think, one time, and I was like, because I was still considering just, getting different ones each time, and that was still whenever they had a lot of great flavors out, not these bitch ass multiple watermelon ones. Oh!
Yeah, they hardly sell shit anywhere anymore.
No, and take Star Blast off the shelf.
Yeah, they're going out of business. They're done.
But they just introduced Sour Ropes and Any Means Orange.
Mm-hmm. They try to stick
And
around.
those are good. The Any Means Orange is good.
flavors.
But
Yeah,
they
that
need
one's
to
not bad.
reintroduce Lemon Drop, reintroduce Purple Guava Pear, reintroduce Miami Cola.
Georgia tea.
All those tea
lemon
ones were
drop
good.
ones were that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lemon Drop sweet tea was fucking
Yeah.
fantastic. But yeah, I think it's very hit and miss though. You can't tell me everything birthday cake you've liked.
No, I mean
And once again, I'm not talking about the actual
probably
cakes.
not. But I'm still probably gonna say a little underrated.
Oh,
just because I feel like it gets a lot of hate,
yeah.
and I feel like I tend to not really hate a lot of the birthday cake flavored things. I'm like, yeah, that's not bad to that's pretty good. most of the
Sometimes,
time.
whenever it makes sense with the thing, I think it's pretty good. But it's like the ice cream makes sense. The bangs, like, why'd you make that? See, and then it's fucking that and the watermelon ones, man. They fucking put Bang out of business.
I mean, watermelon's a general flavor for energy drinks. Like I get what you mean though, because the watermelon Hawaiian punch is easily the worst one. It's like sweet as fuck.
Yeah. That, the same as the green apple, and don't get me wrong, I like the green apple Gatorade, but I'm like, in excess, I'm like, that's
sweet.
not the
It's
type
real
of
sweet,
flavor that I can drink a lot of. You know what I mean? Fruit punch, anything, I could probably drink a lot of.
Yeah, I got the green apple like 1 week for work.
Yeah,
And
well,
I'm
I saw
like,
you have it.
I probably won't do that again.
I would get like one, but I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I could drink that often.
Yeah, it's so much easier to just drink like just the typicals, you know, lemon lime, fruit punch.
Cool Blue, that Cool Blue is
Cool Blue,
banger,
yeah.
man.
Powerade, dude. Powerade Zero, that's a go-to for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's typically a little cheaper. I always try to go zero when it comes with sports drinks because I'm like, I don't want to waste. I eat a lot of sugar stuff. I
Yeah.
drink a lot of sugar stuff. I don't want to waste my sugar on my sports drinks at work. Like I drink like a couple a day whenever it's hot out, plus a couple like waters and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not going to drink all that sugar. I probably could use it.
Purely for, hydration and extra electrolytes.
Yeah.
Just to bump it up.
Yeah. That's why you drink an energy drink on top of drinking those. You know,
Mhm.
you don't need the sugar. I also try to not get a lot of sugar in my energy drinks.
I don't either. Now, I will say this is like recent days I haven't stocked up. I did buy 2 today when I got those Gatorades with the bottle. I got a couple of those bangs. I got the peach mango one too, but in recent days I haven't even been drinking the 300s. Like I've even gotten a Kickstarts a few days, and those only have like 90 or something like that. Not very much, or maybe less than that. I'm not sure. But I was like, okay, let's see if I can like manage this, because my eyes, like certain days, they would just like twitch from it, and I was like, oh shit, because one of my buddies there, he was like, yeah, I stopped drinking energy drinks a year ago, and he's like, yeah, my eyes were twitching and all kinds of shit, and I was like, oh boy. I was like, this is definitely making my face just loaded up on caffeine, and like I don't think it. I think after a while it definitely takes a toll on you.
You can't be drinking too many of them.
And I really try not to, but I've done it 4 or 5 days a week for the most part for like a few years.
I get that. I do that too.
That's the thing. It's like even if I don't drink
3 to 5, typically 3 to 5
because
times a week.
because that's every week, and that's for years in continuity.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but I don't know. I don't like want to stop drinking. I mean, I could just be a little smarter about it, but I have in recent days gotten some that are less caffeine just to see if I can manage and not feel like total shit. Because like by now I'm just convinced. I'm like, yeah, I need this level of caffeine, but I'm like, maybe I can bring it down and see what my body will tolerate.
I know. I just don't want to get the headaches. I get like head and neck aches if I don't have enough caffeine. That's the worst.
So you're gonna go underrated as far as birthday cake flavor.
I think so.
Man, you might be the only one. I feel like a lot of people would say, I don't know if they would. I tried not to harshly cut it up too bad, but I'm like, I have had some birthday cake flavors that just miss the mark big time.
All right, are you ready for your final one here?
Sure.
What do you think? Honestly, you're probably better about these than me. Because when I usually lay down, it's usually like an hour. What do you think about cat naps? Like 20 to 30 minute little power nap. Just a little on the couch, close your eyes, you're right back up.
I have like I guess it's not like a theory, but I mean, even a little bit of rest like that, I think can actually do the human body like a lot of good. You know what I mean? Like just because people don't think, they're like, oh, that's not long enough. But like if you truly just stop thinking about anything, you close your eyes, you lay down, and like you actually give yourself a chance to like try to rest for a little bit, it's probably better than nothing. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I haven't taken as many of those lately. Like sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I'm just going to fall asleep. And then I'll wake up at odd times and I might watch more TV or whatever. Most nights I'm just out and then I'm like, all right, I need to sleep as late as I can. While still making it to work and taking care of all my shit. But, just so cat naps.
Yeah, just like a cat nap or like a power nap, just a quick little.
A lot of people will tell you that. I'm not saying like everybody, but like a lot of people will say that they cannot do that, and they need actual like sleep. They can't have like a breakup of just
I mean, I can get like 45 to an hour. If I get like a solid that through, I wake up feeling a little better usually. Mm-hmm. But
for them to be effective, you really need to be ready to lay down for that time. Because if you're already worn down, if you're kind of just lounging and then you try to do it, it's probably not going to be a very good nap. But if you feel actually tired and you just let yourself go in there and just gracefully let yourself under for like 20 minutes, just try to snooze. You got to give yourself like 10 minutes of reprieve to like let yourself get in that zone to actually get. It takes at least that. Like they say, it's like, oh, it takes 15 minutes to fall asleep and in the same position. So if you like move at all, your subconscious, you're gonna be. You just reset that time clock.
That's annoying.
I don't know if that's actually, but like no, that makes sense that it takes at least that, and that's of like almost no movement. And your body also has to doesn't have to drop a little bit in temperature to go to sleep, or is that not something? Because it does get like lower whenever you're in a deeper sleep.
Yeah, which is weird because you wake up hotter than fuck sometimes.
Yeah, might be sick. If that's happening to you regularly, but no, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that That doesn't usually happen to me, but sometimes I do wake up just like, ugh. You know?
Yeah, if you ever
It doesn't
felt...
happen to me a whole lot, but...
It's real gross if you lay down on the couch for like an hour and a half or your bed or whatever, and you've been trying to sleep and then an hour and a half has passed and you're like, I have not gotten any real sleep the whole fucking time. Now I just wasted my time.
Feeling of all.
Yeah, I just wasted my time. I didn't get sleep.
I get pissed.
Pissed off.
Because you're like, I'm still fucking tired, and I wasted all this fucking time, and now I still gotta do all this stuff.
Yep. Brings a bad energy.
Yeah.
I would say fair on those actually, because they think that's another one of those things that's really like depends on the person. Because I've heard a lot of people be like, "There's no way I can nap during the day. I'll be out," or they're like, "I just can't fall asleep that early. I gotta wait till separate my sleep more than that." I can still do that, or still attempt to do that. And some days I'll get like a really good one in if and when I do it. I just haven't all that much lately. A lot of times on my days off though, I would just like either order breakfast or go get breakfast or whatever. You eat, you're awake for a couple hours, but you pig out on whatever your first like meal was, especially if you're off, and then I just go back to sleep for a couple hours.
It's a good feeling though, sometimes on an off day.
It's great though if you get up early enough to get the food, whatever, pig out a little bit, watch some stuff, then fall asleep, and when you wake up, it's not like way too late. Because if it's 4, then that's gonna feel shitty. But if it's only like you get that nap in and it's only like 11 or 12, you're like, there's still a fuckload of the day. I feel good now. I had a meal, I had another nap.
Yeah, then you're like really ready to go. It might be like noon, but you're like, I'm ready to go.
Well, you already kind of had a morning though. You just chose to separate a little bit and go back. But yeah, I would probably say fair. I think that's another one of those things that really
if you can do it,
because some people don't
actually do it, it's nice. But
it is. It's even hard though, because even when I try to do it, I only get like a good one or a great one every so often. Like most of the time, they're very mid. Like they're not.
I know. Sometimes I lay down for a nap and I'm like disappointed by them, and sometimes I lay down and I'm like, that was well needed.
Oh yeah. Sometimes the timing of your body and when you lay down is perfect though, because it's like ready to shut down for like 30 minutes and just do nothing.
All right, what's your final?
I might just throw you another foodie. Why not? Hit me with that one. We talked a little wrestling. That one actually we got some mileage out of, but we hadn't talked any wrestling, so. But yeah, that was worth acknowledging, I think, for sure. Just getting the belt back that quickly.
Yeah.
My other one is another seemingly unpopular, questionable flavor of things. What do you think of the lime cucumber Gatorade?
Not great.
No, I don't think so either.
I'm not a huge fan of that one. I'm not like a huge fan of cucumber anyways. It doesn't taste like too much of anything. That's another thing to me that's like, the flavor of it is just, I taste way more of like the texture of the tough ass skin than I do any flavor out of a cucumber.
But it tastes like something.
A little something, but it's not a great flavor.
No.
It's like...
You have tried it, right? The lime cucumber?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like cucumbers in general, they have like, they're like, it's a clean flavor, but it just doesn't taste good. So then you like put lime, which is like okay when it's mixed with the right stuff. But it's got to be mixed with the right stuff. Lime on its own isn't great. Then cucumber, which is not good. And they're like, let's put
I don't
these
mind
together.
Cucumbers like themselves.
No,
I'm not. I'll eat vegetables though. I just don't really buy them much.
I like a pickle.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cucumber. A little angry jarred one and juice and salt and shit, but a pickled cucumber.
They have so many pickled. They have a pickled pizza. I saw at the store the other day. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's like like there's pickles on top as the topping and some other things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant pickled, like it was actually pickled, like it was in a jar. It was like a pickled pizza in a mason jar.
Oh no.
Like with the juice and shit.
No,
I'm
it
like,
was just like
disgusting.
that was the main topping. Was like there's some obviously cheese and maybe something else on there too, but it was like dill chips.
I would try that. What was it though?
Cucumber lime. I don't know if it's
the lime cucumber Gatorade.
Yeah, I have tried it like twice, but it's been a number of years, and I've tried to give it another shot every like 5 years or so, and each time so far I haven't liked it. And the other day I saw a whole bunch of them up there, and I was like, man, if I buy one, it'll be just a single though, but it's gonna be kind of.
I mean, if I'm like real thirsty and it's hot, and I'm like, damn, a Gatorade sounds nice, and somebody's handed me one, and it's that, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna crack it, I'm gonna drink it.
You're gonna bite it and just drink it.
It's not like if I'm going to buy my own Gatorade, it's not gonna be that one.
No.
So, but yeah, I mean,
some people, dude, I have actually heard the statement that that's the best Gatorade, and I'm like. Okay.
Well, I mean, some people have that opinion,
I
guess.
I know.
Just that's
But I'm like, it's a hot take, is what that is. So we call it. This is a hot take. This is a hot taking show. We give you some facts. We give you some opinion.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got hot takes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say overrated. I don't even know if that's like a lot of people think it's a great flavor.
No, I don't think so. But there is an audience that actually thinks it's tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's still around. It hasn't been replaced.
Yeah.
Or dropped.
Don't understand it. Don't understand how these Bang flavors are still out there and like the good ones are gone. Like, what did you guys do?
I mean, most of the Bang flavors are gone.
Sad. Those were my energy drinks. People go Red Bull and Monster back and forth all day, but like whenever Bang was hot and at its peak with all those flavors, like 2021 and 22, it was like they were my energy drink more than anything else ever was. Mm-hmm. And like there was a time when I was always a little more of a Monster over Red Bull, but I was never really like that wasn't my hill to die on. I would just get it now and then. But I was never really like religious about it the way Bang, I got it like every day and shit.
Oh yeah.
But I never do that with Monsters. I always liked Monsters more than Red Bull, but I never liked.
Yeah, I like myself a Red Bull every now and then.
I just never really liked that regular flavor. Don't like that. The blueberry one, not bad. The iced winter berry one from this past winter, pretty good. Never liked the flavor of the original one.
Yeah, they're like coming out with all the other flavors now, too, like Red Bull.
Monster has a fuckload of great drinks. All the zeros,
like a whole lot of drinks.
Even the original that tastes like gas, would whoop Red Bull's ass.
Nah, the original Red Bull better than the original Monster.
No, I would fucking buy packs of that, like down in Florida, like that was where I was drinking them sometimes. And I don't know, that was just a lot of sugar. But those have a lot of sugar and a lot of caffeine. My body
not enough
not
caffeine,
like that.
Actually, in the Red Bull or the Monster.
No, like that's my point. Red Bull, they're like, oh, take a Red Bull. It's got like 90 milligrams. I could drink a fucking hot chocolate and I'll feel like that from same effect.
Yeah, some of the like little cans of Red Bull, that's some bullshit. You might as well not even drink that. It's like a ripoff. It's no caffeine, basically. It's like 70, it's like what, 87 or 78 or something milligrams.
Honestly, not a big fan of, Vegas bombs with those?
Yeah.
Because it's with the Red Bull. Not a big fan of those.
Yeah, they're not bad, but I like Red Bull. I don't really like to mix liquor with energy drinks though. That just feels like a recipe for disaster.
I've done them, and it's not like the worst mixture or whatever. It's just something about the Red Bull like original is just I don't know. See, I'm not picky really with food. I am picky with like drinks and alcohol, but I think most of us are. Not too many drinks. I'll drink most shit.
Yeah. I'm basically the same way. I'm definitely more picky with food, but the older I get, the less picky I get with things too. Like I'm up to try more things now than I definitely was at a point in time.
I was thinking about this too, and I saw the how there's sweet relish, like the dill relish next to that. I'm like, whenever I get hot dogs one of these times, either grill them or cook them, however way, I'm like, the dill relish, that's what I get. That's the shit. Over the sweet, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I like dill like pickles.
Oh yeah. Dill flavor's just good in general.
You say overrated for lime cucumber?
Yeah, I think so. At least personally, because I just don't really enjoy it. So
no. I might give it another go one of these times. See if I can see why it would kind of be like a refreshing flavor, because it almost feels really like, ooh, this is what this tastes like. It's not like a made flavor. It's like cucumber and lime.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it would be. But I just have a feeling.
Just kind of like you don't hear that combination much though. Like I don't know if there's that flavor combination in anything else.
I was kind of surprised when they made it. I thought somebody was joking. Whenever they said the what the hell? Whenever they said that was a flavor, I was like, what the hell? I didn't think it was a real thing.
Yeah. Well,
what's your favorite Gatorade?
I don't know. Like I said, it's almost hard to beat just the original flavors. I'm trying to think of.
I like the blue cherry. I wish they made that in other than just.
What's the white one?
Glacier cherry.
That one's pretty good too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They got white zeros. The bigger ones. Even the orange, the fruit punch is great. Cool blue.
They had a purple one that was pretty damn good too.
Yeah, Riptide Rush they used to have, and then obviously grape.
Yeah. Yeah, Gatorade, man, they're a classic company.
Sports drinks, and now Logan Paul's got his. Dude, Prime became
Prime's
massive.
Honestly not bad either. They have their own flavor though. Too. They don't taste like a Gatorade or a Powerade.
Yeah.
Gatorade and Powerade are kind of, I feel like a little, if you're at my job, if I'm at work, I would rather have a Gatorade or a Powerade. If I'm just drinking one to chug something.
Yeah. Oh man, nothing slaps like that. Or if you go to the fridge in the middle of the night and you're you can tell you're dehydrated, just that nothing tastes better than just sitting there at the fridge and you're just on
a Gatorade or a Powerade, yeah. Yeah, they're very quenching, thirst quenching. That's the thing, water is the ultimate body hydrator. Mm-hmm. It's what we need, but it's never what quenches.
Yeah.
If you're really thirsty, really dry mouth, you can take a big gulp of water and within a minute your mouth is a little dry again. That doesn't happen if you drink some Powerade.
Some of these other things have stuff that water doesn't that we still need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can drink water and that could be, you gotta get other nutrients from other stuff somehow.
But you can't never not drink water either. That's not a good
Well,
thing.
you really can't though, because even stuff that's, most everything's made with some water, so you're still getting some water, but it's good to drink actual water too. Like I'll drink, especially during the summer and like the hotter months, like or the just kind of the middle-ish 6 months of the year. Like I just find myself just naturally drinking more water because you feel hotter all the time, and you're like, man, you need to constantly keep it down, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're also just like, if you're one of those people that's just always just drinking Diet Coke or something, like you'll start to feel weird and shit, especially in the hotter months. Just feeling like, oh, I feel dizzy. Oh, I'm overheating. Well, I wonder the fuck why. What if you had to drink today? 6 Diet Cokes?
Yeah.
It's 95 out here. The fuck is wrong with you?
Anything else?
No, I think that's about it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in for us. Another good old segment of this or that.
It was a fun one.
Yeah, as well as the good, the bad, and the shits like always. So we will be seeing you on episode 184. Until then, take care of yourselves. See you next time.